Hello, let us talk about Pluto. Okay, Pluto is in Aquarius for the first time. I feel like my camera is a little bit skew. Sorry about that. For the first time in 248 years, Pluto is in Aquarius. And it will be there. It arrived yesterday. It will be there for 19 years. 19 years. This is very, very, very important. I want you to pay very, very special attention. This is so important that I have created a whole plotting Pluto program, whatever you want to call it, because this is a big one. Pluto is has moved now from Capricorn into Aquarius. And it was in Capricorn since 2008. And when it was in Capricorn, of course, as it moved, and we were also able to say, well, look, it was 200 and something years ago. So that's what was happening then. Because astrology is circular, we want to do that, right? So back in 2008, I was not doing astrology full-time or even really at all at that time. And so I missed that this important thing was happening. But if I look back, and I'm asking you to do the same, look back to 2008, how drastically did your life change? In 2008, I moved back to my home province. For the first time, I left in 1996 and I moved back in 2008. That was how long I was away for. And the very next year I got married, and the very next year I had my child. So it was massive, massive changes. And I didn't plan any of that except when I started to feel that pang to return home, that need to be closer to my people. Then it became a really big driving force. But nothing happened that suddenly, none of my parents were suddenly ill or anything like that. It was just a sudden, which is exactly Pluto having moved. Or moving. Okay, so even though it's our further planet, and of course in astronomy it's not even deemed as a planet anymore, but it brings empowerment. It strips all the stuff away from us that is not allowing us to be authentic. So in astrology, in this craft, in what I do for a living, my passion, when I work, Pluto will always be a part of the conversation because it has got such a big impact on you individually, but also globally. So from the planet of Saturn, we move out to global lessons and feelings. Okay, I'm not going to go there now though. So because astrology is circular, we can look back and say, well, what happened 238 years ago? And that was 1777, and that was revolution in America. There was a hell of a war, right? Remember? I'm not going to go into that. I did actually debate, should I go and get some facts from there and relate it to what's happening now? And I love history, I really do. I am an avid documentary watcher and I soak that up. But because it is in Aquarius and because we have got so much happening in Aquarius, I'm actually not going to go too much into what happened in the past. The word you need to hear is revolution. You're welcome to go and look that time of history up. My fringe is really getting to me here. I'm just going to carry on. Go and look it up if you really want to, but revolution is the most important thing now for you to know. And if you know that it was a war, a revolutionary war in America, you know that it was for some kind of independence, there's something was happening, and I'll tell you the British were involved. If you look at what's happening now, even look directly at America, look at what's happening in their politics right now. It is chaos, but I know that something sweet is going to come out of this, and I'm sure that there will be people who go, what the hell are you talking about? But please, 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 I mention this all because I'm going to bring it back. I want to see if I'm going to bring it back at the end. Yes, I'm going to bring it back at the end. If you don't hear me coming back to this point of what's happening in the politics right now, please just comment in drop me a comment and let me know to go and do that, okay? I want to just head back to what happens now. So Pluto, this is important. The energy of Pluto is... Really think of the butterfly. If that what do you call it, before it becomes a butterfly, the larva, right? If that does not change, the butterfly will never, ever, ever be able to fly, and it will just succumb in this little tube that it was in. So it would have been a quarter of a butterfly, a half a butterfly. It would never have ended the process. But God has made this thing in order that it will go from that weird-looking little thing and squish up into this mushy goo, and out will come this most glorious thing that will fly and soar up into the sky. When it is a larva, and I have a children's book that I used to read to my child and that my mom used to read to me, where before this little larva becomes a butterfly, she looks up and she sees these butterflies and she keeps saying to them, "What's it like?" and what is it like? And all they ever say to her is, "You'll see." And she gets so angry because she wants to know what's it going to feel like. And then just one day she has these little feelings that she has to go off somewhere. And of course she wakes up as a butterfly, and she herself goes and flies back to where she came from, and there's a larva looking up at her and says, "What's it like?" And she says, "You'll know." And that's exactly what it is. If you don't know that you can feel better, how do you know that you can't feel better, right? Until you do. And that's where Pluto comes in. Uranus pulls the rug out of something. It says, look, you can't carry on this way, it must change. Pluto is deeper than that. Pluto goes right down to you. It says you cannot shine the way you need to if you are going to continue to live just in these little walls and are too afraid to go and become that butterfly. All right. So eventually it has